Welcome to the Good People Society Live. I have the pleasure of introducing Sylvia Crawley Spann, former WNBA player, champion, gold medalist, gold coach, best-selling author, famous for her blindfold dunk. She empowers individuals and teams with leadership, confidence, and resilience, inspiring success in both sports and the corporate arena. Sylvia graduated with a double major from UNC, where she played basketball and led the team as team captain of the Tar Heels. She graduated with both a double major in radio and TV motion picture. Wow. She has played the 1997 for the USA Basketball Player of the Year, and shortly after that, she was added to the USA national team and was named the alternate for the 1998 Olympic team. So, we are excited to have Sylvia here today. Off the court, she does public speaking, and she has recently written a book that is available on Amazon. I'm trying to find the name of the book, but she will be here to tell us all about it. Here we go. Off the court, Sylvia is a public speaker. She's also known for co-founder of the Monarch magazine, sold nationwide at Barnes & Noble. Most recently, she is the best-selling author of the Confidence Playbook, sold on Amazon globally. Sylvia married her best friend and pastor, Brian Spann. They reside in Durham, North Carolina, where they care for her parents. Please welcome Sylvia Crawley Spann.
Okay, they put these seats so close to each other. Ah.
What an honor it is to be here today.
Sylvia, yeah, you know, the first day I met you was in Durham, and I think you caught me off guard, and you asked me, "Are you talking alone?" You remember? I was so pissed off because some black dude was being treated in some type of way. And then one thing that ended up making me really, when I saw you that day, and then before I knew who you were, you had offered to go get some food from the restaurant. And I was like, later on, I'm like, she, that's so humble of you,
Well, I consider myself a leader.
Uh-huh.
And to me, leadership means to serve. And so no job or no task is beneath me as a leader.
Mm.
I'm that type of leader that will sweep the floor, take out the garbage, whatever needs to be done to move the mission forward,
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to do. So that day when I saw you, you were sent to go get some lunch,
Yeah.
but you also had responsibilities to video the event. And
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be videoing it?
Yeah.
And you guys are coming to my city. I'm from Durham.
Yeah.
So I said, let me go get the lunch. You go do what you're supposed to do. Do your job.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my way of serving.
Wow. Because after that, they played your clip of you blindfolded doing the women NBA, or was it the ACC?
Through the ABL.
ABL.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that, and then they introduced you, and I was like, oh, she
went to get her lunch?
yeah. Yeah, and I was like, wow, I need to be humble. That was the first lesson you taught me that day. And welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. A lot of Kenyans in America, in Europe, in Germany, in Canada, in Kenya, they will watch it. And some of them are already watching this. So, watu wangu, welcome. I know I'm not so comical today. Lakini, let's get serious today, okay? Welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I just
Mhm.
posted, I wanted to manifest and put it out in the atmosphere that I was going to be an international speaker. So the fact that I'm on your podcast and this
Yeah.
will be viewed with people all over the world,
Yes,
globally,
yes.
technically makes me a global speaker today.
Already, yes, yes. So, Sylvia, basketball, you blindfolded and doing that dunk. You were the first lady to ever do that. And before we even get to basketball and the confidence you had to do that and the practice and the obstacles you had to cross, take us back about 30 years ago. What were you doing that day, 30 years today?
30 years today, so it's November. I was about 22 years old,
Okay.
which means I was playing in Europe. Let's see, I'm guessing Spain, because I went to France first. I played in Spain for 3 years. So yeah, I was playing in Spain. I was the only black woman in my city.
Yeah.
So the city was Lugo, Spain, and that was very difficult. There were a couple of Cubans who were a little darker complected, but no one dark skinned like me.
So you were playing for Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. You mean, okay, now I'm getting to realize this. You've played for a lot of teams, not just the American teams.
Yeah, so when I graduated from college, from the University of North Carolina, there was not a professional league
Okay.
in the United States.
Mm.
So to go pro meant to play abroad.
Yeah.
So I played in 16 different countries.
16.
Yes.
Mention a few and what teams.
So I played in France for Rouen.
Okay.
That's how you pronounce it.
Rouen?
Parlez-vous français?
No.
So I played in Rouen, France, is how we would pronounce it.
Okay.
I played in Lugo, Spain.
Okay.
Vigo, Spain. Spelled with a V, but they pronounce V like B.
Okay.
In Barcelona, which was one of my favorite cities.
Mm.
And then I've played in Shanghai and China. So I've lived in some of the largest cities in the world. Barcelona is huge.
Okay.
Shanghai is huge.
Yeah.
I've played in Brazil. I've played in Korea. Seoul is huge.
Mm.
Seoul, Korea.
Okay.
I love Korea. Absolutely love it. And I played for 3 teams there: Samsung, Shinsegae,
Okay.
and Udi Bank.
Oh, Lord. You've been everywhere.
I've been to Taiwan, Taipei,
Mm.
Australia, to Sydney, Melbourne, and Townsville. Sydney's like New York. Melbourne, to me, is like California.
Okay.
Townsville is like the South, like Raleigh, Durham.
Yeah, like,
That's
oh, okay, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so I've been all over the world.
Wow. Wow. So, tell me about North Carolina. How did you find yourself in North Carolina?
So, I was recruited by over 250 schools out
Okay.
of high school.
Okay.
And I narrowed it down to 5 schools. You get 5 visits
Mhm.
where you get to visit that school, and they pay for you and your family to come.
Okay.
And so North Carolina, Chapel Hill was one of them,
Okay.
the University of North Carolina.
Okay.
And so after all of my visits, I decided to go to school here
Mhm.
there in Chapel Hill.
Mhm.
And then I eventually coached for UNC.
Okay.
For my alma mater. And so I was working here, bought a house, planted my roots here.
Okay.
I've always loved this area. I love the sweet tea, the southern hospitality,
Yeah.
the warm weather.
Mhm.
I'm originally from Ohio.
Oh, Ohio. Ohio. Big up to Ohio people. We have Ohio watching us.
Woo-hoo, Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm from Steubenville, Ohio.
Okay.
Very proud of my city. Very small city.
Really?
But I was very fortunate enough to have a village, like a real village.
Village.
Where everybody on my block
Mm-hmm.
was a parental figure for me.
Oh, really?
Everyone had the green light to discipline me.
Mm-hmm.
If I was acting out, they could spank me.
Yeah.
Call my mom, send me home. I got
Mm.
another spanking at home.
Oh.
My teachers, I had teachers that were like parental figures.
Yeah.
So my parents had eyes all over the city watching me.
And is it because I know for young people in America, especially black people, we usually fall into drugs or sometimes alcoholism, or for men a lot into gangs. And if not, we just get pregnant before time. How is the village? What made you really be who you are without those mishaps?
Absolutely. I would
Okay.
credit that to sports
Okay.
and my village.
Mm.
Definitely. It was such a small city that
Mhm.
I was related to everybody.
Yeah.
Or I was related to somebody that was related to you.
Yeah.
So everybody was family. to me.
Okay.
And so, anytime, when you are from a small city,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's not a lot to do there.
Mm.
There's not a lot of activities for the youth. And
Mm.
so you tend to make things up and get in
Mhm.
trouble
Yeah.
just to have something to do, just to
Mm.
occupy their minds. And so
Mhm.
I was a very hyper kid. I was a very creative kid.
Okay.
And sometimes mischievous. And so yeah, I had a village that kept me in line.
Okay.
They saw me. If I went to a house party, for example,
Yeah.
because we didn't have places where they had dances or
Mhm.
disco, is what they call it in Europe.
Mhm.
We didn't have that for kids a lot.
Okay.
So if you had a birthday party, you threw that at your house.
Oh,
In
okay.
your basement. You had a DJ,
Yeah, and all
packed a
that.
bunch of people in
Uh huh.
there. Well, if I went to the wrong house party,
Yeah.
they wouldn't let me in.
Oh,
I would
really?
ride with my friends.
Mhm.
All my friends would get in, and they would say, "You can't come
You
in."
cannot come
I'm
in.
like, wait, I rode with them.
Yeah.
I have no way home.
Yeah.
Like, well, find a way, but you can't come in.
You
here.
cannot come in there.
Yeah, or if I was playing basketball
Uh huh.
in the wrong area,
Mm.
some trouble going on,
Yeah.
they wouldn't pick me up on the team.
Okay.
You go home.
Mm.
You can't play here because
Yeah.
there's a lot of just stuff going on that you shouldn't be involved in.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of people that really looked out for me to make
Mhm.
sure, because I think people saw very early,
Mhm.
you got a chance to get out.
Oh,
You have a
okay.
gift.
They
you
saw
got
a
to
chance.
make it.
Yeah.
If you make it, we all make it.
Okay.
You fly, we all fly.
Yeah.
And so everybody started to invest
Okay.
into my future.
Oh,
Even
they
if-
knew, and you had. How did you find out that basketball? This is it.
Well, when I was in the 6th grade,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I was 6 feet with a size 12 men's shoe. So I was 12 years old. I was 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was a little girl,
Yeah.
just a 4th or 5th grader, people
Mhm.
would ask me if I played basketball for the high school.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm a 4th grader. No.
No.
I played basketball
Yeah.
for the high school.
Yeah.
So all of my life, people kept saying, do you play
Mm.
basketball? You play on the team? I'm like,
Mm.
and you couldn't even start playing on
Mhm.
the team until 7th grade at my
Yeah.
school.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to the 7th grade, I said, let me try out this basketball thing. Because every day at the grocery store, at the mall, everywhere I went, people
Mhm.
asked me if I played basketball.
Yeah.
So I gave it a try. And I didn't necessarily love basketball in the beginning.
Okay.
I fell in love with what basketball did for me, for people. Like, it brought people together.
Mm.
My very first game, and I'm the youngest of
Mhm.
3.
Okay.
There's 3 children in my family.
Mm-hmm.
And at my game, so now I'm 12. I'm 12 years old. I have a game. My whole family shows up.
Yeah.
And they sit together.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister's 10 years older than me, so she's 22 years old.
Yeah.
My brother's 20 years old, so he's in college. She's graduated from college, and she has her first job. Right?
Yeah.
But they're home. They came back home for the weekend
Mm.
to attend my game.
Wow.
And I felt very special.
Yeah.
Once my siblings left for school,
Mhm.
the only time the whole family got together was Christmas.
Yeah.
So now I'm like almost like an only child in my house.
And now you start feeling you cannot let them down.
Well, I look in the stands
Mhm.
and I see my whole family sitting together.
Yeah.
And I took a mental snapshot.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept playing over and over to see that picture over and
Wow.
over again.
Wow.
So that's what I love about
Mm.
basketball.
Okay.
Right? And then eventually I got better. I got good.
Yeah.
Started being recruited.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fell in love with basketball.
Yeah.
The sport itself. But
Mm.
before then, I loved what it did for me.
Mm.
It helped, it empowered me to
Mm.
bring my family together.
Yeah.
And so, So if I didn't get good grades, I
Mhm.
couldn't play basketball.
Mm.
If I got in trouble at school or if I was fighting, I couldn't play basketball.
Yeah.
If I got caught drinking and smoking and all
No.
the vices that people tend to slip into,
Mhm.
then basketball was taken away from me. First at home, but then I had coaches that wouldn't put up with that as well.
Yeah.
So there was discipline all around me. There
Wow.
was no escape. There were no cracks. There was no, because I would
Woo.
gravitate towards that crack.
Yeah.
But it was a solid.
It was
village
very
around me.
solid. You were raised by the village.
Yeah, it was there's an expression that
yes.
it takes a village
To raise child. Yes.
And I definitely was
That
very
really.
fortunate enough to have that.
Now let's go to the obstacles because a lot of us, especially my followers and my good people society, some of them, a lot of them really want to get to do better in life. And for the men, we just want to be great and do amazing things, even the women, you know. And we even have a group whereby we are trying to better ourselves in business and in investments and all that. And a lot of us are stuck in the 9-to-5 jobs, and we have these dreams, and we seem not to have confidence enough sometimes. Sometimes it's a fear. Sometimes we feel like the environment will not support us, being not only African Americans, but being Africans now from Africa coming here. It's really difficult sometimes. And when I met you, I saw you on stage, and you spoke some words. And now, this is where now I really was like, wow, you are beyond basketball. You ended up being a coach, and you ended up being a leader, even in the community. And you ended up now, you're a speaker. And you spoke about going through obstacles. And I remember you mentioning that, like the word confident, you being told that you might not be strong enough for basketball, and how you fought it. Take us there.
Well, people read my bio, like we heard, what was her name again?
Chantel.
Chantel. We heard Chantel read my bio, and it sounds very impressive, but those are the things that I've accomplished.
Yeah.
Obviously, to do those things, there's a lot of adversity that I had to overcome. I was a pioneer for many things.
Yeah.
Like to be the first woman to win a slam dunk contest. Like I was a pioneer for that.
Yeah.
To be the
That was a
first-
contest.
Yeah, that was a dunk contest. And the dunk contest was the first that we've ever had for
Yes.
women.
Yes.
To be the first African American head coach at Boston College at a school in the ACC.
Yeah.
We live in ACC area,
Mhm.
so we know how big that is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a trailblazer, so
Mhm.
anytime you're a trailblazer,
Mm.
you're blazing a trail for other people behind you.
Yes.
And so this is a path that hasn't been taken yet.
Mm.
So there's some thorns and some thistles that you're going to get stuck with, some stuff.
True.
And you're going to take that so that you
Mhm.
won't be the last
Yeah.
African American
Yes,
to
yes.
do that. So,
Oh, you pioneered this.
Yes.
Wow.
So I think it started just kind of with my roots,
Mhm.
just being able to overcome adversity. So first of all, I'm a daddy's girl. My dad growing up was an alcoholic.
Okay.
And so I love being around my dad, but when he
Mhm.
drank alcohol,
Mhm.
he turned into a different person
Yeah.
that I didn't always like.
Mhm.
And so that was difficult living in a household like that,
Mhm.
and I had to overcome that.
Mhm.
And that made me tougher. That made me stronger. Today, if you met my dad, you would never know that was his story.
Really?
Sometimes I hesitate to say that because
Yeah.
that's his story. To tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does include a little part of how and why
Yeah.
I am the way I am.
Mm.
And then growing up so tall,
Mm.
I had to overcome a lot.
Okay.
I wore high water pants
Mhm.
every single day.
Mhm.
My pants were too short.
Oh,
My
Lord.
Today, I'm purposely wearing a jacket where the sleeves are short.
Yeah.
Considered 3/4.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was a child,
Yeah.
I had to wear clothes like this.
Wow.
Supposed to be long.
Yeah, you
Just
didn't
wasn't-
have a choice. Mm.
So there were, kids are cruel. There were
They
kids that
are.
talked about that.
Yeah, bully you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so no, they didn't bully me.
Mm-hmm.
They tried.
Okay, you are tall too.
Tried, but
Okay.
but
Mhm.
my mom taught me very early. She
Okay.
said, "I don't want you to come home crying about somebody talking about you.
Okay.
Not another day. Don't come in this house. Not one more day saying that somebody talked about your pants or your
Mm.
sleeves or how tall you are." She said, "Everybody has a flaw. Everybody has a flaw.
Mm.
Look them up and down. Figure out
Yes.
what their flaw is.
Yes.
Call them out on it, and I
Mhm.
guarantee you they'll never." mess with you again."
Okay. Okay. I see.
So I did that, but I learned that very early.
Mm.
And there were pros and cons with that.
Yeah.
The pros were
You could-
nobody bullied me.
Yes. Yes.
Because I was gonna come back and say, well, at least my ears aren't as big as yours, or at least my nose
Oh
is
Lord,
not that
did
big.
you just look at my ears?
But
Mm.
so I learned how to protect myself.
Yes.
But did people still talk about me? Yes. Was it hurtful? Yes.
Mm.
But I learned to overcome that. So very
Okay.
early on, I got past caring about how people feel about me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Wow.
I got over that when I was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like as a third grader.
Yeah.
I was like 5'6".
Yeah.
Third grader.
Yeah.
I'm huge. I'm like a giant.
Giant. Yeah.
I mean, everywhere I go, people are staring at me. They're looking at my shoes to see if I have on high heeled
Mhm.
shoes, and they're like, I
Like,
have people that will say,
hey,
"Dang, you tall."
Yeah.
I'm like, is that a compliment?
Is that
or
a
not?
compliment or what?
Do I get to say the first thing that pops up in my
I
mind
think
when I see
they're
you?
intimidated. They're intimidated.
No. That's
Mm.
that's the first thing that pops up in their mind. They
Wow.
say it,
Mm.
and so
Mhm.
so I got over that very early, and
Mhm.
so that was a blessing for me because there's a lot of people who care about being liked, and,
Mhm.
and as a leader,
Mm.
you can't care about being liked.
Oh.
Sometimes you have to say some difficult things
Mhm.
that nobody else has the courage to say.
Yeah.
But I have the courage. To
All
say
right.
it.
Wow.
I'm going to say what I
Mhm.
think is right for the
Mhm.
group.
Yes.
As a leader.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I don't care about if you like me or not. Whatever you do, there's going to be somebody that doesn't like you.
Mhm.
So I might as well be true to who I am and be the leader that I was born to be.
Wow. So at some point you get to be told your hands are weak or your legs. What was it? And you had to beat that.
Yeah. So when I faced most of this when I went to college.
Okay.
In high school, I was so much taller than everybody that I dominated.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But when I got to college, everybody's good.
Everyone is good.
Everybody there has a full scholarship.
Okay.
Because they're all good.
Mhm.
They're all stars in their high school. And so
Mhm.
once I got to college, there's weight training. You're running on a track. I had never ran against a clock before.
Okay.
In high school, we just ran our sprints, but there was no time on the clock. In college, you got 10 seconds to be down to the end of the court and back. I didn't even know if I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
closed my eyes and ran as hard as I could.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're in the weight room, and they're like, okay, you got to bench press this bar with weights on there. And
Mhm.
I had never lifted weights before
Yeah.
because I was still growing in college.
Mhm.
I grew 2 more inches in college.
Mhm.
Well, I'm sorry, I grew 2 more years
In college.
So I graduated when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
By age 9, so at 17 I was 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
By age 19 I was 6'5".
Mm.
So I was still growing in college.
Mm.
So if your growth plates are still open, sometimes they don't allow you to lift weights. Actually, you should.
Yeah.
Because you could stunt your growth.
Mhm.
My family was like, no, we want you to grow as tall as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So without lifting weights coming to college, all the other players were more advanced than I was.
Yeah.
So their legs were stronger than mine. They could leg press more than me.
Yeah.
They could bench press. My bench press was the bar.
Mm.
No weights.
No weights.
And I was like, my left hand was still down.
Yeah.
Like this, and my right hand was up. You know?
How did you beat that?
Well, it was difficult. My coach actually told our strength coach, she said, we need you to put 25 pounds on her.
Hmm.
She's just not bulky enough. She's not strong enough to place
Mhm.
the center position in the
Mm.
ACC.
Mm.
Like everybody's pushing her around.
Yeah.
And we can't even get her to catch the ball.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a strength coach that really invested time in me.
Mm-hmm.
I was off to the side just working on catching. while the rest
Okay.
of the team was practicing.
Yeah.
And they had him just firing passes at me, and I had to try to catch it without it hitting my face, you know?
Mhm.
And so finally, my strength coach said, you know what? It's not that she can't catch. Like, they had my eyes checked. They're like, she can't see. Because we threw her pass and her hands crossed, and she
Okay.
missed it. That's eyes. Check my
Mm.
eyes. I got 20/20 vision.
So it was your eyes.
No, it was not my eyes.
No?
I have 20/20 vision.
You have 20/20. So
my
you,
strength
you
coach said, Coach, it's not her eyes.
Yeah.
It's not that she can't catch.
Mhm.
Her fingers aren't strong. She has
Oh.
longer limbs than everybody else.
Yes.
Right? And so
Mhm.
normally my strength coaches were giving me
Yes.
tennis balls to
Mhm.
squeeze.
To squeeze
To
them.
get my hands strong.
Yeah.
But that just gets your hands strong from here to here.
Yeah.
To palm a ball or catch a ball, you need
You
your
need
fingertips
up
strong.
here. Mm.
So he had me with buckets of sand, digging sand every single day.
Oh my God.
50 each hand, 50 times each hand.
Oh my
so
God.
eventually, my fingertips got stronger.
Okay.
So now, when a ball was passed to me, a strong pass,
Mhm.
my thumbs could stop that pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I could palm the ball
Mhm.
when I caught it.
Wow,
Away
just
from the defenders, right? Now I could dunk the basketball. Like my whole game opened up when just something as small as my fingertips.
Mm.
But it took somebody to take time. Before, people would be like, catch the ball.
Yeah.
Don't catch the ball. You're not gonna catch it."
Yeah.
Like yelling at me.
And
It's not
that
gonna solve the
doesn't.
problem.
Yeah.
Because the problem was I needed to get my fingertips stronger.
Yeah.
And so now when I see that tall kid on the court that everybody's screaming at,
Yeah.
messing up,
Mhm.
I can see right away like what the
Yeah.
problem is. Like,
And that made you a good coach eventually.
yeah. So
Mm.
I'm hearing all the people scream, like
Mhm.
fans are just like, catch the ball, dunk the ball, you're right there at the bat. I hear all of this while
Mhm.
I'm playing.
Yeah.
And I started to internalize those voices. I started to feel bad
Mhm.
about myself, about
Yeah.
playing basketball.
Mhm.
And I had to learn how to silence those noises.
Okay.
Internally and externally.
Mm.
And that can happen that's a learned process. Like you
Yeah.
can learn to do that.
Yeah.
And you got to practice that, and you can perfect it. So I wrote a book called The Confidence Playbook,
Mhm.
which is just kind of from my experiences how I was able to overcome
Mhm.
negative voices.
Yeah.
People telling you that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're
Mhm.
you're not this, you're not that.
Yeah.
You're lacking 25 pounds.
Mhm.
You're fat, or you're too skinny, or
Mhm.
you're too whatever.
Yeah.
Or you're not enough.
Mm.
And my coaches weren't purposely saying that to me.
Mm. Oh Lord.
They just were their job as a coach, and I get this now because I was a coach.
Yeah.
Right? And when
Mhm.
I became a coach, I was like, I get it now. But their job is to, when the freshmen come in every year, they got to get these freshmen to the speed of the rest of the team.
Yes.
And so they're always looking at who's the weakest link,
Mhm.
because our coaches felt like we're only going to be as strong as our weakest link. So we got to find that weak link and make them strong.
And make them strong.
And I just happen to be
Yeah.
like literally on paper.
Yeah.
I lifted the least of everybody on our team.
Mm.
It wasn't something that they were just saying about me. Like these were stats. These were facts, you know. And so, so I had to learn to really overcome that.
Okay.
Really look in the mirror and still love myself, even
Okay.
though I was skinny.
Yeah.
At a time where, my peers are developing.
Mm.
They're 18, 19 years old. They've got curves. They've
Yeah.
got butts.
Butts,
And
yes.
And I'm just straight.
Straight.
Up and down, and so you got to, fortunately, I had a father in my life
Mhm.
who esteemed me.
Yeah.
He told me that I was beautiful.
Yeah.
He told me that my hair was beautiful. Even when I woke up in the
So
morning.
being tall and just straight was not defined so much by the public, unless it's professionals out there looking for a model.
Yeah, and I think self-esteem starts at home. You know what I mean? And so just my father, I was born dark-skinned at a time where it wasn't popular to be
Okay.
dark-skinned.
Okay.
And so my dad wanted to make sure that anytime I left the house,
Mhm.
that I was prepared
Okay.
for whatever I would face.
Mm.
So he told me that my skin was beautiful, my eyes were beautiful. So in my mind, I think I see how all men see me, how my father saw me. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yes, it does.
But and that could or could not be true.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But
but in my
that's
mind, I
that.
think
Yeah,
that's
that's what you know. The truth.
so
Yeah.
I had enough of a foundation to overcome what was happening to me on the court.
Mm.
I could look myself in the mirror, and I had to find a way to find the beauty in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Although in my field, it required me to look like something else.
Mm.
And so that was very instrumental for me to overcome.
Wow. What were your very toughest moments as you grew up, and especially in the season of growth like that?
Toughest moments are just as a girl
Mm.
growing into a woman
Mm.
who, you're dealing with boys or
Mm.
men
Mm.
who you want them to like you.
Yeah.
Will they like me? Are they intimidated for the fact that I'm taller than them?
Mm.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Who's asking me to dance? Who's
Mm.
asking me to the prom? Will they have the courage to do that? Or do I have to give them a hint to let them know that I like them? You know what I mean? And so there's times where you have to be, as a tall woman, you have to be the aggressor. You have to let a guy know, I'm interested in you.
Mm.
But I prefer to be the hunted, not the hunter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so it's difficult to navigate through that because most girls can just kind of sit back and smile and
Yes.
pat their eyelashes.
Yes.
I would get the cue to come over and ask her to
Yeah.
dance.
You didn't have a lot of choice because there were not many tall people
In
than
my
you.
school, yeah. My mom used to tell my brother, she said, I think you're going to have to come home from college and take your sister to the prom because she's taller than all the boys. It's like, I'm not going to the prom with my brother. So yeah, and then when I got into sports, I'm now balancing femininity and aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Because I'm a daddy's girl, so I relate to guys
Okay.
very well.
Mhm.
My best friend was a guy in
Okay.
school when it wasn't popular for boys and girls to be friends.
Actually, true.
Without people accusing us I know you
Yeah,
guys
I
like
know.
each other. We're like, no, we're just friends.
We're just friends.
So I'm always around guys.
Mm-hmm.
I gravitate more towards guys because I have more in common with them.
Mm.
Like I'm around my dad and he debates.
Mm.
He's watching sports.
Mhm.
He lifts weights, and
Mhm.
those are the things that I'm interested in.
Wow. Okay.
However, I have an older sister.
You're basically copying your dad. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I have an older sister who's
Mhm.
very feminine,
Okay.
and I was highly influenced by my sister. So
Okay.
my mom said that I was the type of kid that I would climb trees with a dress and white church shoes on.
Oh Lord.
And lip gloss.
Ah.
So she was like, is she going to tomboy or is she going to be a lady?
Oh Lord.
So
Mm.
I was constantly balancing those two
Yes.
as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to play sports, just how you see me today, that's how I am.
Yeah.
You see a video of the dunk contest?
Yeah.
My hair looks just like this.
Yeah, I saw.
When I
We'll
play
play it.
yeah.
We'll play it on the edit.
In the air.
Mm.
And when I play basketball,
Mhm.
I just put on a headband and my hair was done. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't in a ponytail.
Mhm.
In braids. Like my hair was
Yes.
out.
Mm-hmm.
I usually had on lipstick just like this, and
Mhm.
I played basketball.
Yeah.
I was sponsored by OPI nail polish.
Okay.
So my nails were always painted. So when I put my hand in a huddle, I would have my pink nail polish, and my teammates were like, "Are you here to play basketball? You
Yeah.
look cute." I'm like, both.
Both. I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that wasn't always encouraged. Like
Okay.
It was always, you have to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Lift weights.
Mm-hmm.
I had teammates that would look in the mirror and
Yes.
growl while they were lifting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to be feminine. And so it just makes my heart glad when I turn on the WNBA today and I see players playing basketball in eyelashes.
Wow.
Their hair
Yes,
is
it's all the way
here,
down.
And their nails are like this
And they're
long.
really kicking it.
Yeah, and that's who they are.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't always popular to look like that.
Yeah.
Now you're free to just be who you really are and
Mm.
who you want to be, whether that's tomboy or
Yeah.
feminine or blend the two together. Tomboy
Yes,
chic,
yes. Wow. So let's talk about the championships.
Wait, before we talk about championships,
Okay.
let's go back to adversity.
Yes,
So
yes. Mm-hmm.
I told you that I played in 16 different countries,
Mhm.
and so people think, wow, you know, like you traveled the world.
Yeah.
But it costs to be me.
Mm.
I missed a lot of funerals when I was overseas.
Wow.
Like I would have family members here pass away. I couldn't get home.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like if someone passed away, the funeral's on Saturday.
Yeah.
A ticket home from Europe is very expensive.
Very.
Plus, I have practice. You know, like you don't understand. We've got a game on Saturday. You want to go to a funeral, so I miss a lot of funerals.
Okay.
I miss a lot of my nieces and nephews'
Birthday parties,
Yeah.
going to the movies.
Well, not I'm not even counting movies.
Yeah.
I miss weddings.
Oh,
I
big
miss family
Lord.
reunions.
Yeah.
Like those are moments that I will never get back. So it costs to be me.
It costs.
Yeah. And so sometimes you can wish to be in someone else's shoes, but you never know like what they went through to get what they got.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to pay the price that it cost them to be them,
Then
yeah, then you want to change places.
yeah. How did it affect you?
I'll tell you, the biggest effect that it had on me is that because I played abroad and because I played in the WNBA and traveled so much, it was almost like every 6 months or so I moved. And what it did was it made me very closed. To the point where one time I was at the mall with my sister and my arms were folded like this. And she said, unfold your arms. She's like, you're closed. People don't want to approach you or anything. Like, put your arms down. I was like, what are you talking about? And I found myself with my arms back like this. And so then when I went to church, I would find a seat by myself, like a whole row. And no one was sitting on. That's where I wanted to sit. Or there were like 5 empty seats, and I wanted to sit right there.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hug 5 people and say I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. And say,
Yeah.
I just want to.
You missed a lot of that.
Get my word, and I'm going home. I don't want to socialize with people. Anytime I went to a new city, I didn't want to make new friends.
Yeah.
Don't get close to me because in 6 months, I'm going to pack up and I'm going to
And
leave.
I leave.
And I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And so to not do that, I don't want anybody.
Oh, you are kind of protecting the people.
And so then when I moved into a new apartment or a new house, I kept all the original boxes. If I got a toaster, I kept that box to that toaster. I got a microwave, I had the box to that microwave in the attic.
Yeah.
Or in the garage somewhere. Because in 6 months, I'm put all that stuff back in the original box and I'm moving. Right?
Yeah.
So now I don't have to find boxes. I already have the boxes.
Yeah.
I didn't plant gardens. I didn't hang pictures on the wall. There was not one hole in my wall from a nail because I lived a temporary life.
Wow, you are like the Maasai tribe in Kenya, nomadic. Yeah.
I was a nomad.
Yeah.
And so one day I went to church and I was talking to a pastor and he asked me about me being so close. And I said, I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to. He said, I want you to work with our youth because you have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
That you're not telling us about. He said, I looked you up on the internet. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe who you were. And I don't tell people.
Yeah.
Like when you met me, you had no idea who I was, right? He said, I want you to open up. Let these kids see who you are. And I said, I don't want to hurt these kids.
Yes, yes.
And he said, are you doing that to protect them? Or are you doing that to protect you?
Yeah. Oh,
he said,
wow.
I think you're doing that to protect your heart.
Oh.
So he challenged me. He said, I want to challenge you. He said, don't worry about how long you're going to be here. I still want to put you in charge of the youth department because I didn't want to accept the position as the leader of the youth because I didn't want to hurt those kids by leaving. He said, don't worry about that. You let me worry about that.
Yeah.
While you're here, I need you to bloom. I need you to show them who you are. I need you to mentor them. I need you to teach them how to play basketball. Teach them how to be feminine and play basketball. Like, give them everything you have to offer. And then if you have to leave, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
But these kids are better off knowing you and receiving your love than to never receive it at all.
Okay.
And so I started to do that. Like, he prayed for me, and I got set free from that. So I went home, and I planted a garden. I remember I put a nail in my wall. And I was so nervous about it. I was like, wait a minute, let me make sure this nail's in the right spot. So I measured from the top, from the sides to make sure it was in the center. And I finally, like, took a hammer and, like,
Wow.
My first nail in the wall. And was
Yeah.
like, I was freaking out for a second. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. But for the most part, I started blooming where I was planted.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so that became my theme. No matter where I'm at,
Yeah.
bloom. Wherever God plants me,
Bloom.
I'm gonna bloom there
Mm.
until it's time for me to go. And then He'll protect her heart and He'll protect my heart.
Yeah.
And once I did that, I was able to open up my heart to love. Like I was able to date. You know? I was very guarded. So, I mean, I dated, but you really had to work to get in.
Really,
you know?
yeah, true.
I started making new friends. I started networking. I started mentoring, and my whole life just kind of opened up. But that was the cost. That's what it cost me.
That's
to
what
live that
it
kind of
costs.
lifestyle.
Yeah. Wow. 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 You've been through a lot while you're. People might see you and they're like, "Ooh, she's had a great life," but there is that price you got to pay. So, speak to a young girl who is 18 right now, or maybe 16, and she may have maybe this talent or not. She doesn't even know what to do yet, but maybe she's tall like you, and maybe she can do basketball. But the path is crazy because some of these girls out here, some of them have crazy parents. Some of them are just in a crazy environment, toxic. Talk to some girl who is really confused and does not even know how to get from one point to another. And talk to another girl who is maybe trying to be in business, stuck, and maybe she's bankrupt. Yeah. What would you tell someone like you, your 18-year-old self, who is now stuck, does not have a dad like you, or maybe has a dad but the other version, but always the bad side of, yeah. What can you tell her to that will change her life?
I would tell her, because that person you're describing is me.
Okay.
I would tell her to search for the thing that she's passionate about. Like, that's where it started for me. Like, start with the thing that you're passionate about. Find that thing. And passion can come out of love or hate.
Okay.
You can love something with a passion. You can hate something with a passion. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the passion is what will drive you to be great. So, for example, I hate going to the mall to shop because there's, like, if I went to Crabtree Mall, there's not one thing that could fit me in that mall, but maybe a belt, hat, purse, but no clothing. Right? So I have two choices. I can complain about that, or I can change that. And in changing that, so I started a clothing line. And I was very passionate about that. I want everybody to feel good about how God fearfully and created them. God didn't make any mistakes. He didn't mess up when He made me 6 feet in 6th grade with a size 12 shoe. He did not mess up. You know, like, I have the nose that I have for a reason, the eyes that I have for a reason, the ears that I have for a reason, right? And so I want everybody to feel proud of that and not feel insecure about that, not feel like they're less than, not enough, or not important, or whatever. So that's what gives me the drive to be very diligent about that business. I'm co-founder of Monarch Magazine.
Okay.
Because when I was a 6th grader and I looked in magazines, like, my father told me that I'm beautiful, but when I look in these magazines, I don't see what my dad is saying is beautiful. I don't see me. I see other things, but I don't see me. And you're telling me I'm beautiful. Why don't I see that?
Why don't I see? Yeah.
So now I got two choices. I can complain about that, or I could start a magazine, and now my best friend and I, we now define to the world what we
yeah, you change the definition.
Lifestyle magazine. I hate with a passion how athletes are equipped to win games,
Mm.
to win gold medals,
Mhm.
to win trophies, but not equipped for life.
Mm.
Not equipped to go out there and build a career,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I have two choices.
Yeah.
I can complain about that, or I can roll up my sleeves and become a coach
Mm.
and make sure that my players choose a major that they'll actually use.
Mm.
Make sure that they don't come back for summer school this year. You're going to work an internship so that you can get some work experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And to teach them that life is bigger than basketball.
Yeah.
Eventually, the air will go out of your ball.
Yeah.
The shoes will come off.
Mhm.
And then you've got to figure out how to take care of yourself
Mhm.
and your family.
Mhm.
So I simply use basketball to teach them life lessons.
Mm.
That's what I did as a coach.
Wow.
So I would tell an 18-year-old, find your passion. And in order to do that, you got to expose yourself to a lot of things, right? If there's nothing that you feel like you're passionate about, try other things, right? But it doesn't matter what you're interested in. In 2024, there's a way to build a service around that.
Yeah.
If you just like to put on makeup, there's a service around that.
Mhm.
People, I needed a makeup artist this morning.
Yeah.
Here, right?
Yeah.
If you just like to play video games,
Mhm.
there's a way in 2024. Maybe you're supposed to be the
Yeah.
person that codes the
Mhm.
video games,
Mhm.
and now that leads you to NFTs and
Mhm.
metaverse space and all that kind of stuff. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever it is you're interested in, like start there,
Mm.
and your gift will always make room for you.
Mm.
And now in 2024, no matter where you are or what your situation is, you have access to the World Wide Web. So post it.
Mm.
Post what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Post yourself doing that.
Mm.
Somebody will find you.
Mm.
I believe that we're only 2 people away from whoever we need to know.
Okay.
Like whoever it is you want to get in contact with,
Yeah.
you're only 2 people away.
Wow.
You know me.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
You know LeBron and you know.
Well, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
2 people removed from whoever you want to know.
You know, I was so happy and so proud of myself. You are talking about LeBron and how, and I'm like, wow, I'm in the presence of someone who has been with LeBron right here, you know, and talking about Michael Jordan, like, wow, I'm only one step away from them.
One person away.
Oh, that's amazing. That's true. So talk to, if you look at the audience here, and thank you everyone who is here. I did not pay anyone to be here, and they all came to help. And most of us are over 20, 28. Yeah, the youngest is my wife there, who is fidgeting every minute. And she's 28. And we have the oldest as me, maybe, or one of us here. We are really trying hard, not just as black people in America, but just Africans. I'm telling you, sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's easier in some cases for us to be African in America than you being African American in America, because sometimes you get discriminated because you're African American, not African. Yeah, but sometimes we get discriminated because we are not only African American, but we are African. Yeah, and it's very tricky. And it's let me talk actually from my point of view, and maybe them. We are really trying hard to not just get a piece of the dream, but to just be good and great in what we do and really excel. I don't want to be under 6 figures all my life. I'm not 6 figures yet. Let me be honest. I'm trying to get there, but it's really hard. And with other foreigners out there now being threatened by the political situation, oh, we'll deport all of you, add all that in there. And the confusion about religion and everything. From your point of view, what is it that you could really pour to us today for just some random Kenyan like me who is really trying to make things work? Yeah, I'm really trying to make it work for not just me but my people here. Yeah, how?
Well, let me just be transparent as well.
Yeah.
I don't make six figures either, so we're
Okay.
all trying to make it.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you what my husband actually just said to me this morning. In terms of the political situation,
Mm.
we have to more than ever trust in God.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
and He hasn't given us a spirit of fear,
Mm.
but of love,
Mm.
and a sound mind. You know, and so
Yeah.
so we just we got to rely on that.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, as a community, pull together now more than ever.
Okay.
What you have, more so than I believe I have, is community.
Okay.
Like, there are Africans who are here,
Mm.
and I feel like this is my opinion and my world travels.
Mm.
Because often when I played in France, when I played in Spain, I had African teammates.
Yeah.
And so one of my teammates explained to me, she said, we don't really have the concept of cousins.
Okay.
Like, they're just my brother and my sister,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
We have first, second cousins.
Yeah.
First cousin, second
Mhm.
cousin, third, second.
Mhm.
So we're like, oh, she's my distant cousin.
Yeah.
And we will treat them like a distant relative, right?
Yeah.
But you all have each other.
Okay.
So you've got to pull together, and I think you're doing a good job of that today. Like, they're
Yeah.
coming, they're helping,
Mhm.
but to support one another, because as African Americans, we don't do that.
Okay.
We don't buy black all the time.
Okay.
Like, we don't trust it. We don't,
Mm.
whatever the case may be.
Mm.
But we don't support each other as much as we should. We
Mm.
spend a lot of money in this country.
We do.
And if we kept our money in-house and
Mhm.
supported each other,
Mm.
we would all make six figures.
Yeah.
And so I think my advice to you would be the same that I would advise the 18-year-old
Okay.
or my 18-year-old self.
Mm.
You got to find what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, you have to provide a service. Like, whether you feel like you're going to be deported from this country later or not,
Mhm.
you're here now.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to see what is needed.
Mm.
What do the people need?
What do the people need?
If you can solve a problem, they will need you.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are, you still have access to the World Wide Web,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So whatever you're doing as a service, if you go back
The
home,
location does not matter
location does not matter.
as you carry the skill.
Carry the skill, you can still have an online business, online
Mm.
service, you can still sell to America
Mm.
or sell to your country, whoever.
Mm.
But if you solve a problem, people will always need you.
Mm. And they won't let you go, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What I know about our people is
Mm.
we're so creative. We are so creative. We will figure out how to feed a whole family
True.
a little bit of food.
Yeah.
We're going to make a creative dish and feed
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
So we know how to do it.
Mm.
It's in us. Like,
Yeah.
survival is just in our blood.
Mm.
And we got to tap into that, support each other,
Mm.
and serve.
Yeah.
If you have a service,
Mhm.
you solve a problem,
Mhm.
people will always need you.
Okay. As we finish, you have, I'm sure you have ups and downs in terms of low moments in whatever you do. Even now, I'm sure, because I've seen you in those great places talking in the studio there. And how do you go about when you feel totally down? Like down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you're almost like, is this thing working? Yeah. Am I doing the right thing? Well,
Yeah, there are two things that I do, or two things that I would say to that.
mhm.
One, for me, when I get down, I have to disrupt my pattern.
Okay.
I learned that from a good friend of mine. Whenever I'm feeling like blah,
Yeah.
not depressed really.
Yeah, not really.
I try to catch it before I get there.
Okay.
But if I'm just feeling like stuck,
Mm-hmm.
I have to disrupt my pattern. I I have to change. I got to go to lunch somewhere that I've never gone before.
Okay.
And that could be in my backyard with a sandwich.
Yeah.
I've changed my environment. Like something has to change to get me out of that rut.
Yeah.
Because the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. So if you don't want to be stuck anymore,
Yeah.
if you want to lift your spirits,
Mm-hmm.
you got to change your pattern.
Yeah.
So go outside, go for a walk around your
Yeah.
neighborhood. Like it doesn't have to cost money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're changing your pattern.
Mm.
The other thing is that what I've learned about myself as a leader
Mm-hmm.
is everybody is a leader.
Yeah.
You're a leader of your family.
Yeah.
You're a leader
Mm-hmm.
in the media industry. You might be a leader on social media. But
Yeah.
every leader needs a tribe.
Okay.
And you know very much about tribes.
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm part of the Filoni tribe.
Yeah. Fulani, yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the tribe in the
Mm-hmm.
Ohio. But
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by tribe,
You need a Fulani t-shirt.
I do.
I can sell that.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mean by tribe is you need those people that will celebrate your wins.
Okay.
Who are those people in your life
Mm.
that want the best for you? And when one little thing, it could be something very small to
Yeah.
other people, but
Mm-hmm.
when you triumph, they want to celebrate you.
Yeah.
If you have to dull it down for them, downplay it, it's not big.
Mm.
Like recently, I got inducted into the Ohio Hall of Fame.
Wow. Okay.
And
Congratulations.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
But I found myself saying, well, it's not the big Naismith Hall.
Yeah.
This is like the Ohio.
Oh, you almost start.
I downplayed it
Yeah.
because I didn't want, because there were certain people there that I felt like they were going to say, oh,
Mm.
she thinks
She all that.
downplaying,
Yeah.
posting on social media.
Mhm.
If you have to do that, they're not your tribe.
They're not your tribe.
My
True.
real tribe, I can say, guess what, guys? I'm being inducted to the Ohio Hall of Fame. They're like, wow.
Ah, they'll go crazy with
They
you.
wanna take me out to eat.
Mhm.
They wanna celebrate. They wanna
Mhm.
come over to the house and bring me a car.
Mhm.
That's your tribe.
Yeah.
And you have to find your tribe.
Mm.
Because if you isolate yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to get yourself out of a negative state.
Yeah.
Out of depression, out
Mhm.
of melancholy or rut, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, yes.
It's going to be your tribe to help uplift you out of that.
Mm.
And then also you have to have your close to.
Okay.
Who are those people that keep your arms lifted?
Mm.
Moses was a great leader,
Mm-hmm.
but even great leaders grow weary in their well-doing.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to change the world with this podcast. You're trying to
Yeah.
people,
Mm.
trying to help businesses,
Mhm.
but eventually, you get tired.
You get tired.
You're
Yeah.
tired of putting on this suit.
Yeah.
You're tired of putting on
Mhm.
this smile.
Yeah.
You're tired of reading the bio.
Oh yeah.
You get weary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for Moses, anytime his arms were up,
Mm-hmm.
the Israelites were winning. Anytime his arms were down, the Amalekites were winning.
Wow.
When they noticed that, when his camp noticed that, they were like, dude, you gotta keep your arms
You gotta.
up so we can win.
Yeah.
But he was tired.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So Aaron,
Uh-huh.
her, got under one arm.
Oh,
he
they
put his
held it.
block, and he kept his hands up so the team could
Oh,
win.
I missed that when I was reading that Bible.
So
Mm.
who are those close to you
Yeah.
that are
Mhm.
keeping your arms lifted when you get tired
Mm.
and you get sick,
Mhm.
you got COVID,
Mhm.
maybe you did catch the flu,
Yeah.
maybe you got a sore throat, maybe you
Mhm.
got a stomach virus.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, but you still, this podcast still got to go on.
Yeah, it's still gotta go on.
So who are those people
Mm.
that are getting you some medicine, getting you some food so you can get back on? Because if your arms go down,
Mm.
man, we're gonna lose.
You gotta have those people.
You gotta have those
Yeah.
people. And so, if you're isolating yourself
Mm-hmm.
and you're sinking silently,
Mm.
it's hard for you to get help.
Oh wow.
You have to set your pride down and say,
Mm.
I'm not okay.
Mm.
I need help.
Okay.
We're so prideful. We don't want people to know our business.
Yes,
know
yes.
that we're struggling.
Yes.
That we need help.
Mm.
But you gotta have those close to people.
Okay.
That no matter what, they're gonna love you.
They'll be
Do
there.
the best for you.
Mm.
Where you can say, listen,
Mm.
I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drowning.
Yeah, I'm going down.
And I'm not going to stay down long, but I'm trying to catch my breath. You know?
Mm.
They're going to lean you against that rock
Mm-hmm.
and keep those arms lifted. While you rest, they're doing that work. They're holding those arms.
Wow.
You got to have that.
Wow.
Because you're human.
Mm.
You're going to mess up.
Yeah.
Get tired. tired sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what? I'm just one person.
Mm.
What am I doing this podcast for? Like, it's not
Yeah.
money.
Mhm.
Like, what am I doing here? You know?
Mm-hmm. True.
But there's got to be somebody to say,
Mm.
keep going.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know what?
Mhm.
And you know what? You can do this. And I know this
Mm.
person. Let me connect you with this person. Like, there's more people involved so that, like, if it's just you,
Mhm.
you run out of ideas,
Mm.
that's it.
Wow.
But if there's other people,
Mm-hmm.
community,
Mm-hmm.
a tribe,
Mm.
then everybody's like, you know what? I know this person. Let's bring this person over. Like,
Yeah.
there's more ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
More ideas. True, more ideas actually. Sometimes it's not the money or anything. It's just someone comes with an idea and makes a whole difference. So, last but not least, or maybe second last but not least, let's talk more about your book. How you've mentioned it a little bit, but let's give me more and why you wrote it. What is it about? Where is it? Because the link will be below on the description, or Amazon link. Yeah, and guys, you have to buy that book. Take us.
Well, I wrote the book, and I alluded to this earlier, just because I think everybody at some point in time struggles with confidence. You know, when I first wrote the book, I heard people say, oh, I don't really struggle with confidence, but I know somebody, like I have a niece that really needs that book. I'm thinking, no, everybody needs this book.
Yeah.
Because everybody from at one point in time was nervous before an interview. I just did a speaking engagement in Nebraska, and I said, raise your hand if you're ever nervous before going into an interview. Almost everybody raised their hand.
Yeah.
I said, raise your hand if you ever got nervous before taking a test in school, like an SAT or
Yeah.
SAT, or the big test, like a big exam.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody raised their hand.
Everybody.
I said, raise your hand if you've ever been nervous before speaking in front of a large crowd.
Mm.
People put their hands real you
Yeah.
know, like, raise your hand if you're ever nervous when you had to pray out loud in front of people. You know what I mean? I could
Yeah.
pray for days
Yeah.
by myself.
Mm-hmm.
My own little
Yeah, for your, yes, but not in front of people so much.
corporate prayer for everybody. You know, and so I can go
Mm.
on and on and on
Mhm.
with examples
Mhm.
to have you raise your hand.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Mhm.
And so once people saw that, they listened to what I had to say with a different ear. Like,
Mm.
okay, look, I do need a confidence plate.
Yeah, yeah.
So in this book, I give you strategies for lifelong success.
Okay.
It helped me through basketball, but once I retired from basketball,
Mm-hmm.
the playbook didn't stop.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
applied that for business.
Mhm.
I applied that for in my marriage. I
Mm.
applied that as a caretaker to my parents. Like,
Mhm.
it works for every area of my life.
Yes.
That's when I realized, like, okay, everybody needs this playbook.
Yeah.
And so I'll just go through some of the strategies.
Okay.
Strategy number one, it might not be in order, but
Yeah.
one of the strategies is practice.
Okay.
Like, if you're nervous to speak in front of crowds, practice. Anything you want to be good at, you got to practice it, you know? And so, and I speak a lot. I really do. And especially about my slam topic. But no matter how many times I do it, like, I still have to practice.
Yeah.
And so, so I just talk about how practice breeds confidence.
Mhm.
And you can still be nervous.
Mm.
You can still have butterflies in your stomach.
Mhm.
But I start the whole book out by saying that confidence is not a feeling. It's a skill.
Okay.
So a lot of people feel like, well, if I got butterflies and my hands are sweaty, like I'm not confident. I could be nervous and still shoot the ball with confidence because I've practiced and
Yes.
it's just muscle memory.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second one is, well, I don't know if this is the second one, but another strategy
Yeah.
is inner dialogue.
Okay.
So you have to have good self-talk. A lot of the jitters and the butterflies that you feel in your stomach is called adrenaline.
Mm.
And adrenaline could be a good thing. Like, that's what helps you with your energy.
Mm.
Now, there's good and bad energy.
Mm.
So if you feel adrenaline and you are thinking negative thoughts, you're going to tank out in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're thinking like, I can't wait for this podcast to start, I'm going to knock it out, this is the opportunity.
Yeah.
Adrenaline takes you this way.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
you do great things.
Mhm.
You're on like a high
Oh,
frequency.
the inner dialogue. I think I need to practice that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I.
your inner dialogue, you
Mm.
have to be saying, good things to yourself. You can't say, you know what, I look fat in these jeans. You say, I need a bigger size jeans.
Yeah.
It's like your thought work. And we've got to be kind to ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves sometimes, especially me. If I give a speech, I might mess up one word. Oh my goodness, I can get in the mirror and redo the whole speech and say what I should have said before I go to bed. Because otherwise, if I just lay straight down, I'll review the whole thing in my mind and I can't sleep, you know. Very, very hard on myself. So I have to just say, I have to wake up in the morning, look myself in the mirror and say, Sylvia, you are so beautiful. Look at you. You are 52 years old. Look how you look. You're not taking medicine. You're like, I'm having an inner dialogue with myself.
Oh, you're 52 and you look younger than me. Golly, what in the world? Okay. Whoa.
See? Inner thoughts. You gotta be kind to yourself.
No, you look younger than me.
I know, but you can't compare yourself to me.
Look at me.
Listen, you can't compare because my route was different from yours.
Yes.
You know
True,
what I mean?
true.
You gotta think about what it costs to be you.
To be me,
Right?
true.
You've gone through that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so inner dialogue, you have to say kind things to yourself.
Yeah.
Say, I can do it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna figure out how to turn this show to a six-figure show.
Okay.
I'm gonna get sponsorship. Like
It's possible, right?
You gotta say that. Another thing is
It's possible, right? Okay.
very possible. Another thing is visualize your success.
Yeah.
You gotta see yourself doing it 1,000 times before it ever happens. You can't conceive it.
Okay.
You can't achieve it.
Yeah.
You gotta conceive it in your mind. You know?
Okay. Okay.
That's why vision boards are so powerful.
Okay.
You ever sit down and make a vision board?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want, and you will gravitate towards those things because
Okay.
you have now visually seen it. You know, like you
Yeah.
want a new house, go drive around. All right, there's my house right there.
Yeah.
I want a house that looks just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you can move closer towards that. God can bless you with you're specific in your prayer.
Yeah.
You know what it looks like, how much it costs. Another thing is surround yourself with champions, and that's what
Okay.
I was alluding to about having a tribe.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with other people,
Okay.
and not necessarily in your same field, in different fields, because they give you a different perspective. You know what I mean? They're not in it with you, the whole podcast industry with you.
Yeah.
Or photography or videography. They come from a whole different, like Eric. Eric is somebody that comes, he's in a whole different sector.
Yeah.
And he can give you feedback
Yeah.
from a different perspective.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So surround yourself with champions because you are the company you keep.
True.
You hang around eagles, you'll soar.
Yeah.
If you hang around turtles,
You crawl.
and you'll feel like
Wow.
everything is okay. You're validating.
Yeah, you find it the normal way to live.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with you because everybody's crawling around you. Right? But if you hang with eagles and they're flying and you're not, you're gonna figure out a way to fly.
Yeah.
You feel like you belong up there.
I know.
You're not flying with everybody else.
Yeah.
So surround yourself with champions. And
Okay.
celebrate your wins.
Okay.
Like sometimes I'm so driven. Like when I accomplish something, I'm off to the next thing. The next thing. Like someone asked me maybe about 5 days ago, like, what's the highlight of your whole career? And I was like, I don't really have one. 'Cause I keep moving.
You've been moving and moving,
I'm
yeah.
going to the next one, the next one. And it gets like better and better, you know? And so I think you got to take time to celebrate your wins.
Okay.
And that helps you feel like you're getting closer. But if you never celebrate your wins,
You might, yeah.
you know, you don't know, you can't track your progress. 'Cause
Yes,
it's you.
true.
Other people can see how far you come, but because it's you, sometimes you don't realize.
And you can end up misjudging yourself.
And you don't like you're aiming for something. You want to reap the benefits of the reward. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for you to get six figures, to make six figures, and never buy yourself nothing new,
Okay.
what are you doing it?
Yeah. True.
You don't
You need.
buy your family that house.
Yeah.
What are you trying to get?
What are you trying to?
You
Yeah.
have to enjoy what it is you're pursuing, and that will make you do it some more.
Some more.
You know what I
True.
mean? Like,
True.
If we get a vacation out of this, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And I deserve a vacation. So just celebrate your wins.
Okay.
And that's just kind of being kind to yourself. That's kind of self-care and all of that.
Yeah.
Because you'll get burnt out if you don't do that. And then you won't reach the destination anyway. So celebrate your wins. And then
Wow.
the rest of the strategies, you got to get the book.
You got to get the book. Sure.
And
You
what
guys get the
I
book.
love about the book is if you're getting the Kindle, which is the electronic version, there's clickable links that take you to some of the stories that I'm telling you.
Oh, really? Okay.
The paperback, it has a QR code. If you scan that, it'll take you to the videos of some of the stories in the book. So
Wow.
it's not just something that I'm making up.
Yes, yes.
You
get to see it happening.
And then it's a workbook. So at the end of each chapter, so it says pass to me. It'll tell you how this plays out in my life.
Yeah.
But then it says pass to you. And there's like lines there where you can write your information.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
what do you need to practice? Who are the champions that you need to surround yourself
Yes,
with?
yes.
What's the inner dialogue that you need to say to yourself? Right? And so you really get to take time. Like you get the most out of the book. It'll work if you work it.
Yes.
So if you write inside the book, and maybe you want to gift it to someone else, you can write it on a sheet of paper. But
Yeah.
you really can take the time to make the book. Like I'm just talking about basketball because that's my story.
Yeah.
But you get to make this applicable
To your life. True. Wow. Sylvia, we can be here for another hour.
I usually
Yeah.
do part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Podcast I've ever been on.
Wow. We might need to call you back. We might need to call you back. Because I have like 5 more questions, but we won't go. We won't.
Making these questions up as we
Yeah.
go.
My mentor is, not mentor, I look up to him because I've never talked to him. David Letterman. Not.
Mentor and you've never talked to me.
Yeah, he's not my mentor in my mind because I go to Netflix and watch him interviewing. Yeah, and he has this crowd, and he did Obama. You've seen him on Netflix? You need to check him out on Netflix. He's only on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the others are just the TV shows. And I'm like, I usually follow his way of, he's a little bit comical. For me, I'm a little bit serious. But we could go and go. His interviews are more than an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah.
Because you keep people's attention.
Keep going. Yeah. And you being here is a big step forward for me. Yeah. So thank you so much. Really, I've never interviewed any bigger profile than you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah. I've interviewed a lot of people, and one of the people I've interviewed is here, but not to say he's any less of a profile than you, but let's speak the truth. Isaac, sorry. Isaac Courier is here with Miles of Great Hope. Yeah, he's the second biggest profile I've interviewed.
Well,
So,
I would say people are people.
yeah,
You know, you meet one, you've met them all.
yeah,
So it doesn't matter if they're high profile or not. I think profile and fame and money just magnifies who you already are.
okay,
You know, I had a young girl come to me at church and she was recording a song in the studio. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I was so happy for her. And she's like, I'm so nervous. I said,
yeah,
"Why are you nervous?"
yeah.
She said, I don't want fame to change me.
Ah,
I said, fame can change you.
yeah, it exposes who you are.
Exposes who you already are. So work on your inner self so that that's how you prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Just work on, just being a good person,
Yeah.
your morals and your values and things like that, and staying true to those.
Yeah, yeah,
Will deter you from that.
yeah.
And so that when the fame comes, if the fame comes,
Mhm.
you'll be ready. It'll just
Yeah.
magnify who you already are.
And I really thank you because it's not everyone who is like you, because you're high profile, no doubt. And if I was to approach even another person, even a black man or Kenyan who is high profile like you, most of them will tell me to maybe pay them or will give me a hard time. Yesterday I approached someone and I really loved the value he was bringing from Kenya because he's been there for a few years. And He told me, dude, you gotta pay me if I'm to come to your interview. And I was like, oh Lord, I wish he knew who I was interviewing tomorrow. Yeah,
Well,
but
it just depends.
yeah.
Like for me,
Mhm.
I'm doing a virtual book tour right now.
Mhm.
So I'm speaking on a lot of podcasts.
Mhm.
There are times where I do charge for podcasts.
Yes.
I'm a speaker.
Yes, you're a
What I do
speaker.
for a living, right?
Mhm.
Nobody else works for free.
Yeah.
We all go to work
Mhm.
to get paid.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Mhm.
And so, but for my virtual book tour,
Yeah.
I'm not requesting payment.
Payment.
I just want to promote my book.
Yeah.
I want to help as many people as possible
Yeah.
be confident in
Mhm.
who they are,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
How they were born, and things
Mhm.
like that. So,
Mhm.
so you never know.
Yeah.
You might run across very high-profile people who
Yeah.
are looking to push a
Mhm.
book or a song
Okay.
that you have out.
Mhm.
But you gotta. What I've learned from speaking is
Mhm.
you gotta pitch.
You gotta pitch.
You gotta pitch
Mhm.
to multiple people.
Mhm.
You pitch to 100 people,
Mhm.
one might say yes,
Mhm.
right? So
Yes.
So you got to do the numbers.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta put those
But you
numbers
see,
out there.
you put me in a very comfortable place to pitch to you. That's a good thing. When we met, in many cases, it's not that way. I once
Don't
went
know
to.
if you don't try.
Yeah, true.
Because I mean, there are more people like me. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe rare,
Mhm.
but there are,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. Try more.
Mhm.
Okay. Well.
That's where that inner dialogue got to come in. You got to say, I'm gonna find them.
Yeah.
There's some more. There's some diamonds in the rough out there.
Yeah.
There's some more people who are good-hearted.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sylvia.
Yes. Yes.
You know, now for me, that people exist.
Mhm.
That you know.
Yeah.
will do kind of things.
Well, let me do some shout outs. Shout out to you, John Juguna, Madam Director. Shout out to Miles of Great Hope. That's Isaac Courier, him right there. And if you guys need some photography, big time photography here in Raleigh, North Carolina, we have Derek in the house. Yeah, he's on back there checking things out. And big out to Chantel back there. She's a podcaster too. And big out to Julie, one of our supporters in Good People Society, and the entire Good People Society group on WhatsApp group, and the entire SOMA community. We have a membership website. It's called SOMA School of Media Academia. And we have students there. They pay $47 a month. They come and it's a community, you know, learn photography, filming, content creation, business startup, and we just help each other. Shout out to all those who are in it, you know. Yeah.
Shout out to the Good People Society.
Yes, and to your husband. Yes.
So
Yeah.
like I said, you guys have community. You know, you stick together, support each other.
We're actually trying to build it. Yeah, we are trying to build it. Yeah. Wow. So, see you again?
See you soon. I'm just down the road. So
Yes.
you know where to find me
For part 2?
for part 2.
Amazing.
God bless.
Let me hug you.
You want everybody to see you hug me?
Yes. See how tall she is? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.